Holy crap. We got 6 more miles of this.
You want to comment on what we have experienced?
A snowy day in hell, basically.
That's a good way to describe it.
I've never experienced anything like this before.
Yeah, we're going all the way back now. Because the road was pretty much closed.
Very slippery. I almost slipped and fell just walking outside a few feet.
Good morning, everybody. How do you feel?
A little bit tired, but energy will pick up throughout the day.
We drove 5 hours yesterday just to get to Bakersfield, but because of a snowstorm we didn't get anywhere. There was an accident on the 5, so we drove this other way over hills, and that was also all backed up. So we actually drove for nothing and came back to LA, even though it should only be a 2-hour drive. So now we're gonna get to Bakersfield again somehow. It has to work out because we actually got in touch with Roger King, and it's been a dream of mine to meet him, so we just gotta make it work because we are flying back to Europe in the evening. So we are going to Bakersfield now, back to LA, and then home. Another accident on the road to Bakersfield. What do you think?
Unlucky, yet again. Now my car's all muddy. I don't even know how worth it that was. I'll save like maybe 5 minutes.
Another accident. Thoughts?
Just another day, another delay.
I was like, I know this guy. How you doing, man? Yeah. Nice to meet you, buddy.
It's an honor to meet you, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming. I mean, I don't really know what to say, you know?
Yeah, no.
But, I mean, it's awesome that people still want to reach out from something I did with music so long ago. That's awesome. Hi. I'm Roger. Nice to meet you.
Chauncey.
Hi.
That's my girlfriend.
Hello. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
My friend from the Netherlands is gonna be very jealous.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is he a listener also?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people listen to the Fight in Europe still.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I've been listening all those songs like Follow You Home. This is over and over for years.
Yeah.
I use the Pine also in my videos a lot.
Oh, really?
Like when I do nature shots as an outro, I use a lot of your songs.
Oh, that's cool.
Down Below, Sunshine, like I just listen to those songs like over and over.
That's cool. Like hearing someone mention the song titles, because I mean, it's been so long, you know, and I do different things now, but I know like Sunshine because I wrote the song. So like when I hear someone remind me of them, it's like, oh wow, I forgot it. Like it brings me back.
Yeah.
To like.
Did you write most of the songs yourself?
I wrote all the songs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I wrote all
the
the songs.
bass player was your brother, no?
No, the guitar player is my brother.
Right.
Kurt's my brother. Yeah, we actually, he still does some music stuff. He has a project called Desert Legs.
Okay.
And he's gonna put out a full length, so he had me play drums on that recently.
Okay.
But it's so different now being I turned 40 this summer.
Right.
So I have 3 kids, I'm a school teacher, and you know, I told you a few, I mean, just trying to get together for this, it was like, okay, let me schedule a lot of scheduling stuff. But, so even me playing drums for him on that was like almost as intense, as heavy as it is to organize time and the structure of when, it was just like the same thing for trying to get together with my brother just to do that. When something simple like that used to be, hey, come over, let's play, okay. But now it's like, well, what about this day? Okay, what about this time? And it's just scheduling conflicts now that we're older. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But
you were also into bodybuilding and stuff, right?
Yeah, I did that for a long time.
I watched that Spider-Man thing you did. You were really ripped in that.
Yeah, I got really into like working out and stuff to where I even opened like that supplement store you said you heard that I had, that Gym Rat.
Yeah.
And then because I was really into skateboarding when I was younger, and then I got really into music, and the music kind of took over. And so I was playing music while being the workout.
Could you get closer? Because of the traffic, the sound. Yeah.
But like I would play, like when I was in the Pine, I was heavily into working out during that entire time. And I recently, 7 years ago, got back into skateboarding. I did that for 10 years, then got into working out for like 13 or 14 years. And I started skating again 7 years ago, and then I started to realize that I'm getting a little older, because I was like 32 or so when I started skating again, that working out and getting really tight muscle and everything doesn't work with skateboarding, where you're jumping and you have to be flexible and light.
Yeah.
So the skateboarding slowly kind of took over my time, to where now I skateboard a lot. I still lift like a couple days a week, like more practical though. Like I used to be like a maniac about working out and stuff like that, but now it's more practical, like 2 or 3 days a week, so then I can skate more with my free time.
Are you guys ever gonna do a reunion show or something?
Well, we did one. I know
in
that
2014, right?
Yeah, we did one a few years back. I'd be open to it, because it was so strange, because I couldn't even remember how to play the songs. My brother had to reteach me.
Oh wow.
And it's so funny, because I wrote the songs.
Yeah.
And he was just like, no, it's like this. I was like, huh? And I couldn't, like, but as soon as he would show me, and I would have trouble, because we played completely different things. So he would show me what he played, and I had to find it, but then something would click on each song to where I would remember, and it would feel like, it was almost like I completely forgot, but then once it really connected, you completely remember. And so I was like that song after song, and then we played the show, and playing the show, it felt like it always felt, because we only practiced once, I think, before that show, and people that had watched us here for years play were just like, that was insane, because it was like you guys never stopped. And we only practiced like once, because we did it so much, and it was just a part of us, so.
Yeah, I was thinking if you guys ever do something at Wood of Cave, just for that.
I would,
Yeah.
I mean, I would be open for it. Like, I have no objections to like, no, I don't want to do that anymore. It's like, I would always do it if the guys are just like, hey, we want to do it on this day. I'm kind of like, okay, well, tell me when and where, and I'll schedule it. Like how I was like meeting with you, my brother, just whatever. I don't have any objections.
Yeah,
to
when we went
music.
through Bakersfield, we went through the Munoz gym.
Yeah.
And they tore it down, right?
I don't know if it's torn down or if they
They
just.
said the whole building is gone.
Oh, really? I didn't
that's
know
what
that.
There was a fence and the whole building was gone.
Oh, well then yeah, then it's gone. I didn't know that. They tore it because it was just like a little barn type place where the people had the boxing gym there, but I didn't know it was completely torn down. But yeah, that's where we did the reunion. But I would play again, and I know once, because I'm so into skateboarding now, but I'm getting older and older, and once my body can't keep up with my drive to want to be able to skate the way I skate now and do my tricks and all that stuff, I'm sure I will pick up a guitar again or do something again. Like, I don't really write any music now, or really, I don't even have a guitar right now. I haven't had one in a long time. But I know the time will come when it's time to do something else.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I will play again. But like I said, it's nothing that I object to. Like, no, I don't want to ever do that again. It's just not where I'm at right now. Yeah.
Did you meet ever any of the people from other bands, such as, I don't know, Indian Summer or something?
No, they were before my
They were before,
time.
right?
Yeah, they were like
They split up like 96 or something?
yeah, like Indian Summer and Evergreen and all that stuff
Yeah.
was
'Cause you
more
were
like
inspired by Evergreen?
I was heavily
Yeah.
inspired by that.
Like,
Just that
you
whole,
can hear it, yeah.
just that whole feel of that genre. Like,
Yeah.
it was kind of like a mixture of Indian Summer, Evergreen, Link. Like, those three bands are so different.
Link?
But yeah, Link.
I don't even know that.
Oh, you spell it Lync?
Oh, I do know. Never
Yeah,
mind.
like if
right.
you listen to them, you can see attributes from that in like my songwriting.
Right.
And then Indian Summer, even like some of the like octave like type progressions, like even though I wasn't screaming or nothing, like you can kind of, if you smash those together, you can say I could see that, you know, that inspiring
for sure.
songwriting.
Yeah.
But yeah, all that stuff was unfortunately before my time, like to where I couldn't even make it down. I think I was in 9th grade when those bands were actually playing down in LA, and at that time, you know, no one has cars, no one, like, traveling down south, there was no internet really yet. It was maybe barely getting started. So it's like, how do you find out about the shows? How do you get down there? Our parents don't want to, you know what I mean? So like for me to travel didn't exist, but our history with it was like we had the records, and we were a bunch of little kids with records, and we like that people didn't understand why we have vinyl. Like, why do you have records? Like, that's so old. And we thought that was cool. It was like our special thing. There's like a group of us in town that really collected them. And
there's a shop in Berlin, which is where I live. They sell a lot of the emo, screamo, and stuff. All vinyls and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
I
friend
even had a shirt of Indian Summer and stuff.
Oh, awesome.
I used to also have an Indian Summer patch on the back of my jacket, and actually the pine patch of one of the album covers.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I used to always have an Indian Summer button on my guitar strap.
I noticed.
Yeah, Indian Summer, and then I had...
My friend noticed it, yeah.
Yeah, I think I had 1 or 2 different ones, and then I had a bunch of pine buttons. I think I might have had a link button too.
Yeah, they had a lot of the pins. I was looking for the pine always.
Yeah.
They didn't have it.
Yeah, we only made a few pins. I think we made like one for the Homeless Life 7-inch cover. We had a pin of that. And then I think we just had a basic one that just said the pine, like with the long line on the P. But that was about as far as that goes. Like it's funny too, because I have our releases, but I don't even know where they are in my garage. Like I always made sure to keep one of every release of every vinyl that we did. I don't know where they are. And it sounds kind of fun. And like I went through a kind of a rough spell, like with money, trying to provide. I had to become a stay-at-home dad for a while. We had some tragedies in the family, and I had to quit working. And so I was stay-at-home dad, but I still wanted to bring forth some money to help. And so I ended up selling that guitar, my main guitar, and I had on the back of it, I scratched in like the farmyard scene that I did for the Pine. I think we did it for some shirts and some other things. I had to sell it. Someone bought it for like $1,000, I think, just because they were a Pine fan.
Right.
It was between, I think, 2 people that were going back and forth on, but I mean, it's a guitar. My brother was like, what? You don't feel like kind of like empty now? It's a guitar. Those moments of me and my buddies playing in the band, you know, going on tours, people were blown away by us. Like, I'll never forget that, but they were blown away more when we would stay at their house and then they'd see, you guys don't fight a lot, do you? No, we don't. Like, we never argue, we never got in fights, and every other band that we would be with on tours, like, you know how bands come, meet up with you guys for like a week and then they go on their own route. Like, they are always just kind of like scratching their heads like, these guys really like each other, you know? Because we were just a bunch of funny little kids, you know? Like, I was the oldest one in the band, but still I was like even towards the tail end of our little venture of being a band, I was like mid-20s. So I was still young, I was still a kid, and like they were like, you know, barely 18. Like I got all the guys and they were like 16, they were all young, so I don't know. It was just funny. Like, they would go bananas and like raid people's houses and eat all their food, and I just was the older guy, not super old, but older, that would just sit back and laugh about everything, you know?
Yeah.
So we had really good times. I mean, it'd be impossible now to do tours and stuff, but I mean, those memories, you know, it was a really good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you ever do a reunion, where would you announce it?
It just kind of depends on who sets it up and, you know, them telling me where to be. I mean, I could see if a bigger, like, we already did one here, and I wouldn't really want to repeat the exact, say, hey, reunion show in Bakersfield again. If someone set one up, like, in more of a more populated location, like down in LA or something, I could see that being something that I'd be pretty excited about. Or anywhere that's bigger, but it just depends. Like, I know you said, well, there's such a huge following, I guess, still in Europe, you're saying, so I mean, if I'm older and my kids are grown up and I'm not in such a situation, like right now my newest daughter, Addie, she's 1. My daughter, Romy, is 7, and my son, Eli, he turns 6 next weekend. So right now I'm not in a state where it's like I've taken off, like, hey, let's go do this, and leave my wife at home. Yeah, it's pretty crazy with that many little ones.
Yeah.
But once they're older, I can see it being a reality to, like, well, they want to set up a reunion show in Europe, you know, it's supposed to be a big deal, and like, you could be there down there for a week, and I mean, why not, you know, go see some beautiful places again, you know, and meet people that appreciate things that you've done. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, again, so I'm not opposed to anything like that in the future, you know.
In Germany, there's a lot of fans.
Yeah, I remember Germany.
In a place like Berlin.
I remember
definitely be a lot of
Germany. When we
people.
went to Germany even way back then, like we had big followings. I was surprised. I was like, whoa, people were like singing along with the songs we were playing. I was like, this is awesome. You know, I just think back to like starting the band and like we would play locally here and we might maybe had 5 people watching us and 3 would walk away going, oh no. But I loved it so much and I really liked what we were doing and I liked how it felt, I liked how it sounded, so it was just, who cares? You know, and eventually it just kind of kept growing and growing.
I also wrote you sometime online, you responded about those songs that you did live on that, with that one guy, you played some songs live, but you never released them, like acoustic.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I have. I mean, I have songs.
They're so good. I wish I could hear it.
Yeah.
Record volume.
Yeah, it's something like that. I mean, it would have to be if a label like it's same. I mean, I kind of roll with the punches, you know. So if someone like, hey, we really want to put out XYZ songs, can you record them? We want to put out a 7-inch. Okay, let me look at. You know, I'll find them, I'll relearn them, and I'll do it. You know, anything with the band stuff like that in my history, I'm never opposed to a fan reaching out and saying, hey, we really like this, is it possible for something? Like I'm always open for it, you know.
The last thing you released was the Split, right? The one song Split, that was like 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago.
I'm trying to think, well we did that last full length, Don't Need Regret.
Right, but You Alone, it was as Roger King. And I even wrote you and you said that it's gonna sound more like The Pine.
Oh yes,
Right.
yes.
That was the last thing, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think that was with, what band was that with?
Yeah, I forgot the name.
It was a while back too, that's
Yeah.
why, and that song I wrote about, I remember that too, yeah. It was about because I remember your name, I remember always seeing it in emails throughout these years.
Oh.
But it's just like, it's so like spread out amongst maybe years, you know, it's where I don't really like completely remember, but I know your name's familiar. I know you've kind of been trying to connect with me here and there over time. But yeah, that song was when I first had my first daughter, Romy, and I remember like I wrote a song about her, and I still have some copies of that 7-inch because whoever put it out sent me like the actual I think he sent me like 10 copies, and I think I gave one to my mom. I kept one. I think I have a box of like 7 or 8, or maybe 7 of them left in my garage. Do you have one?
No, I don't.
Well, I'll look for it. I know I have them, at least a couple of them. If I do find them, I'll send you one. And then so just an appreciation of you like reaching out to because I know you'll listen to it and you'll be into it and you want it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll try to find. I know that it's got. My garage ain't that big, you know. It's got to be somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd definitely do that for you. Yeah. Do you have any more questions?
Yeah, gotta go. Yeah.
Well, what time do you guys gotta go?
Well, the 5 is open again at least.
Oh, it's
so
open
that's
again?
Good.
Yeah.
So yesterday we actually drove. We started driving at 7:30 p.m. Drove into the I don't know. There was tons of snow, like a forest.
Yeah, I didn't know.
And we ended up getting back to LA at 1:30, 5 hours, because we couldn't go to Bakersfield.
Oh,
so
wow.
now today we went all the way around, but now at least it's open.
I think I warned you about that last time. Like my wife told me, I was like, oh wow, it's like.
Yeah, and there were 2 accidents now also on the road.
Just today?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that grapevine. It's kind of. If it's nice weather, it's not a big deal. But if it's bad, if it's dark, or just something's wrong with the weather, it can get really sketchy.
Yeah.
You got to be really careful.
Yeah.
But what time are you guys flying back? Like, what time do you have to? Are you flying back today?
Yeah. The flight is at 9 p.m.
Okay.
We gotta be there maybe at 7 latest to check in and everything.
Cool.
Yeah, it's been a 70-day trip. We started in San Francisco, went to Sacramento, Placerville, and all around. By the way, do you listen to black metal?
No, I never really got into
I was just
black metal,
curious.
so yeah.
Because I listen to a lot of the stuff like The Pine, but then also a lot of black metal.
Yeah.
Although I listen to pretty much everything, I was just curious.
Yeah, no, I never got into like black metal, but what's funny, I used to play in a power violence band,
Right,
and I was a drummer, and I was just always do those crazy beats.
It's somewhat similar.
Yeah, with my buddy Zach.
Okay.
My buddy Zach used to be really into that stuff, and I just thought, I used to always hang out with Zach. We would skateboard and stuff, so he knew I could play drums, and then he's just like, well, you want to try? Okay. And it was kind of like, oh, that was fun. Okay, let's do some shows. So we did it for a little while. I know we recorded, but I have no idea what happened to that.
Yeah.
I think he lost it even. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny too, because I have noticed like people that usually do like our style, they will like black metal or like something that's like heavier type genres.
Interesting.
Yeah, I always notice that.
And I like, like the Pine also has like heavy guitars.
Yeah.
So I like Follow You Home, that song. It's like,
Yeah.
it's pretty, I mostly like the bass also in the Pine.
Yeah,
And
Bill.
that really makes it special. The song with Follow You Home, when you really listen in the background, the bass.
Yeah.
That's what makes it.
I started out because Bill, that's who was our bass player pretty much the whole run. He was so young when we started. He was my brother's age, so when we started, I think when I got him in, he might have been like barely like 15, 16, and I taught him, like he was a good bass player with a lot of, tons of, what's the word? I could just see something in the way he played. Like he had a lot of talent just waiting to come out. But since I was a songwriter, I made up the bass lines to go along with the music. Like when I would write, because I play bass, guitar, and drums, so I always kind of had my ideas of what I want kind of done. My brother Kurt always did his own thing because he kind of does more the noisy, just like sounds that you kind of hear that kind of go with mine. I was more the distorted guitar, just straightforward, and then he was more like making like the delay sounds and a lot of like feedback stuff. But Bill became a way better bass player than I ever could become because he took the methods that I was showing him on like songs that, like you said, like Follow You Home. I know there's a lot of other songs that had like specific like really nice melodies, and like it wasn't just going crazy on a bass for fills. It was like the song was the bass.
Yeah.
I would write a lot of the songs based on like a bass line I would hear or in the vocal pattern. And usually I knew the guitars were just going to be like this distorted and straightforward. But he became such a good bass player to where he kind of took over towards the end, and he was just he had it, and he knew what to do, and his fills and everything he was able to do. I always could count on him, like, just do what you want now. Like, it's almost like you graduated, go for it. Just, like, I can see it. Like, you grew, like, you've surpassed what I can do on the bass, and go for it. Same thing with our drummer. Our last drummer, Steven, he was really good. Like, he got to the point where he came in a little later, because we went through quite a bit of drummers. Yeah. We always had some problem towards the end. But Steven listened to us growing up as a younger kid, and he just had the songs down, and so it was just like he was really stoked on it to like be a fan and then start playing in the band. Right. And he just knew what the songs were like, and he knew that it was just solid drums with planned fills. Like, you're not just going crazy and doing what you want to do. Like, it's just real steady, because everything else is kind of like the bass is going kind of out there, the guitars are noisy, and the drums and the vocals have to be steady. But he was really good. I haven't seen him in a long time. I miss Steven. Steven's really good. But
I've got one last question.
Yeah.
Unrelated to music. What do you think about veganism?
Veganism? I noticed. I think I checked one of your videos, and I noticed that you had a lot of opinions on veganism. I mean, everyone. Like, when we first went to Europe on the tour, we noticed everyone was doing, is that vegan? Are you vegan? Are you vegan? Like, they would come straight up to us, like, are you guys vegan? It was kind of like, what's a vegan? Like, we didn't even know what they were talking about. You know, we were kind of like, huh? Vegan? And we started to understand, oh, okay. And we started to identify, well, I identified it with, like, it's kind of like if you, like a stereotype, like something, a mold that you had to be in or else you're not in the crowd, you know? It's right. Like, well, you come to shows and, like, you have to be political, you have to be vegan, you have to go through these
That's kind of the only problem with Berlin is that a lot of the so-called anarchists and such, they're very much into veganism also. It's just like you can't even be, like you say, part of it if you're not.
Yeah, it's kind of like I did notice that, and we were kind of like, huh? And, I recently saw some study. I think my pastor at my church was talking about like they've done studies on like eating meat causes more inflammation, so like your free radicals and cancer cells, something. So I was like, I'll try it, but I'm not doing it for political reasons or to take a stance, or it doesn't offend me. So I'm gonna try it for a few months. I did it for a little while, and then I mean, I did notice I feel pretty good when I don't eat meat, but I still eat. I mean, if In-N-Out's around, I'm gonna eat, In-N-Out burger. I'm gonna eat some In-N-Out burger. So I make a joke sometimes. Sometimes I stick to a vegan diet, and depending on how close In-N-Out is to where I am, like I had hamburgers last night. And I don't know. I think I mean, people can make it more than what it probably is. I mean, if it didn't have a title, I don't think it would even probably be talked about. You know what I mean? The fact that it has a label, veganism, what does that mean? Oh, you don't eat meat, you don't eat dairy. Oh, okay.
Have you heard about the government wanting to tax meat or create this lab-grown meat? They kind of want to just get rid of real meat, essentially, or all the fake meat everywhere kind of popping up, like soy meat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, like something like that's wrong. It just seems kind of, I don't really understand that.
Because they have all of these studies, but the studies are done on processed meat usually, which has maybe 50% meat and then all kinds of garbage in it.
Yeah.
So how can you even trust any of the studies? And even if they would be done on real meat, and it's done on very cooked meat, which then creates the hard crust, the dark one, which is also then not good for you. But that's what they check, and then they say it's carcinogenic. Because my channel is mostly about raw meat, because I try to promote eating how we would eat in nature without cooking or anything, just eating the meat raw. And they don't do any studies on raw meat, but it's just this whole problem nowadays.
Oh, okay, so they're like seeing more like the carcinogens from like cooking the meat. And
or usually processed meat, which is just usually complete garbage. But even if not, then it's very well done meat.
Oh, okay.
So you gotta really look into it and what they actually say and what these studies are, because there's a lot of people who want to push it, who want to tax the meat and make it super expensive right now. So it's
so there's I guess, see, I didn't even know about all that. So there's a lot going on, I guess, behind the shadows. I mean, you know how it is, like based on anything, but I mean, I don't really know. That's all I really remember. I remember I remember a lot of vegans, and it started around, I'm sure it was going on before the time that the Pine was in Europe, but it just seemed like it was a lifestyle, like if you don't do this, you're kind of off. And we were open to like, no, we eat meat. We're like, where would we get some hamburgers? And like, I remember us being a little shunned by some people that were really heavy belief and like, no, you have to be a vegan, like you have to do this and that. And I remember that they kind of would like, I don't know, you can tell when someone's kind of talking a little bit behind your back when you're somewhere, and we could kind of tell. We were like, I don't know, like we were just those silly kids, couldn't care less. And still I don't really have strong opinions on it. I mean, eat what you want to eat.
Right. Well, that's kind of the problem. They don't want you to eat what you want to eat. They want you to eat vegan. Yeah. And that's like the problem with vegans. I don't care if somebody's vegan, but they really care, because it's. Yeah, a lot of people get out of veganism because I interview ex-vegans. They call it a cult or a religion, that they were in this mindset that they couldn't get out of it. It's like you can't eat any animal products, because then you'll be shunned by the other vegans. And they call you names, and they even give you death threats once you become ex-vegan. It's pretty rough. Yeah. Is that
like worldwide, or is it more like in Europe?
That's pretty world.
Oh, really?
It's mostly the United States and Europe. Australia.
Oh, really?
Also, right.
Wow, I didn't even know. That's insane. Yeah, that's crazy. But I did notice that when we were in Europe, it was, and like I guess I don't notice it much here, because like I don't go many places. I go to my work, I skate at the skate park, I'm at home with my kids. So I don't really go out socially to kind of see where people are on opinions of that. I mean, if you're a vegan at I work at a school, so if you tell someone, oh, I'm eating a vegan diet, oh, what, huh? What? Everyone's kind of like, you're kind of like the minority. So if that's, I mean, but when we were, the only time I know that I was in a situation where the majority was vegans was in the DIY scene in Europe, and it was like, whoa. But then also I did start to notice it in the DIY. It's just, I guess it's more the DIY scene is where I notice it, like more like underground music scene. But that's the only time I was really around, I guess, people or a crowd that had more like political, outspoken views on certain things.
By the way, the name the pine, doesn't it come from the tree in LA? Or I read it online. I don't know where the name comes from.
Well, I came up with that name just because I remember there was a movie,
right.
Yeah, that Blood In Blood Out movie.
Right.
Yeah,
and they have the tree.
There's a pine tree, and I remember they used to always were like the pine. Let's go to the pine. Like that was like their neutral ground, where they were able to go and meet and like, what do you want to talk about, like on the neutral territory. I didn't pick it mainly just because I saw peace, like that's their peaceful place to meet. And like they met there when they were young, and then throughout the movie they still would meet there when they're older. Like if they got out of jail, they're still meeting at the Pine. But then the Pine also, I think I wrote something on it, like something I put out for some unreleased songs a long time ago. It was almost like just like we were kids living up in, like we climbed up in this tree. Like this is the allegory that I made up. Like we climbed up in a tree, and we were living in that tree, and all we cared about was each other in the tree. And there wasn't anything else going on in that tree except us having fun in the tree. That's what the Pine, that little era that we had the band, it was us in a tree having fun as kids.
Yeah.
And I mean, we had to climb down from the tree eventually, but still that time of the Pine, it's like when I think of the Pine, it seemed like the main memories I was remembering and talking to you about, I'm not talking too much about the music attributes, but us messing around, us joking around, having fun, getting along. Like those were more the heaviest memories of having the band, was being with a bunch of, like a group of guys that we just had a blast, you know, I always just had fun. She has no idea about like the Pine and like me playing like louder music or going to watch me play loud, distorted music, you know.
Right.
So the time of the Pine was like so before she knew me, to where she doesn't really understand that we had like a pretty big following. Like she does, but I don't know if she really understands that fans still are into it now, even though we're not even playing.
Right.
So it's just like, okay, I guess, you know. So hearing someone say that they're so stoked to meet me, it reminds me that I did a bunch of stuff in music. Like I forget. Like if someone's like, hey, you used to play music, I go, yeah, I used to play. Like it's like let me go through everything in my mind. Yeah, I did play music. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how you think about it, because when I called the gym place, I called the other place because they moved and changed the name.
Yeah.
And then I said, I thought maybe they know who you are. Like in my head, you're just a celebrity basically. So for me, it's weird to think that nobody, like they didn't know who you are.
Yeah. No one really knows me except the people I'm immediately like connected to, or people from people that are fans of like the music I put out there, and the kids, you know.
Yeah, right.
But no,
did you grow up in Bakersfield?
Yeah, I was born and raised here. Like when we were the Pine, we started here, and we always played shows here. But what's funny is you never really get that much credibility in your own hometown, and that goes with anything, you know. So like even until the reunion show like that, we had a lot of people packed in there to watch us, and it was never like that. Like even if when we were touring like the US or Germany, wherever we were going, like we had followings, we would play a show here again, there'd be like a dozen people watching, you know? It's just because they're so used to it. It wasn't a big deal to anyone here, but then when we go somewhere else, I don't know, it's just different.
Yeah. What do you listen to yourself nowadays?
Nowadays, I don't really listen to too much music. I started playing drums at my church, and so I actually listen to some like different worship type bands. But then one band I just got into that's more just like a regular band that just puts stuff out. Like I don't know if they're like more of an underground band. They're called Twilight Sad. I don't know. They have pretty good songs. Like I heard some of that stuff. Since I got back into skating, I kind of graphed towards different types of music too. Like not mainstream sounding by any means, but just stuff. If you look up Twilight Sad, that's kind of it's like almost like The Cure, almost like a reaching away-ish type sound.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I like them, but I mean, it's funny too because I don't ever listen. I still have my Indian Summer records and all those old records. I don't even own a record player, but it's like those songs and that style of those songs.
What's your favorite Indian Summer song?
I think probably Angry Sun.
Angry Sun.
Or
And mine too.
what was that one that they had that split? They're split with Current.
Yeah.
That song. I think it's called Orchid.
Oh,
I think
probably,
their song was
yeah.
called Orchid. Yeah, because the cover, they actually silk screened the cover,
Yeah.
and it was like a well and something. But that song that starts with the guitar, most of their stuff starts with like a picky part. And then I was really into this band Allure. Did you ever get into Allure?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
They just had
Oh,
like
yeah,
a cassette. Like
right,
they were really heavily influenced by Indian Summer during that time, and I used to really be into that stuff. Yeah.
Super good stuff. Yeah.
I just recorded a song actually not too long ago for a split with the band. I don't know if they're still wanting to do it. They seem stoked on it, but it is that genre, Indian Summer, Allure, where I did the vocal style, I did the guitar, I recorded everything. I'll have to email you a link just so you can have the song.
That would be nice.
And it's just me, my portrayal of, because I know like with the Evergreen and Link and all that stuff, like that's how I kind of like put out the Pine and different sounds, but I've never really got to put out my interpretation of my love for Indian Summer and that genre of music. So the song that I put out, or I haven't put it out yet, but that song is my interpretation of my appreciation for that style. So when you hear it, you're gonna hear that sound from that time, but me doing all the stuff. So hopefully you like it. I think you'll recognize it right away. You'll be like, oh, okay, I can see. And just knowing my songwriting so well from listening to my stuff, you'll know it is my interpretation of that, because you'll probably pick up on little like rhythms and things that I kind of graft towards usually.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have my email? I emailed you on two different emails. I didn't know which one you really use. Somebody gave me some subscribers, and they also gave me the phone number.
What?
I don't know what it was called anymore. But I can email you again.
Yeah, email me again and just say, send me that song here, and then I can forward you the email, because my buddy Darren recorded it. I can forward you the email that he emailed me the finished song, and I can just forward you that email that will have the attachment, and then you can just have it. Probably don't like put it online or anything.
No,
you just hear it, but because I don't know what the band that wanted to do it, the split, I don't know what happened. If they still want to do it, the guys, they seem stoked on it, and I don't know what happened. Oh, you know what I should have brought you? Oh no, I'll have to send it to you. I forgot I have pine trucker hats.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I have some that I had made a long time ago. Probably like, I don't know how, like I made them because a buddy of mine said that he could silk screen trucker hats, and I figured, oh, well, I can see some Pine fans wanting to buy some trucker hats maybe, but I think I sold maybe like a few of them, and I think I have like 5 of them left, but I'll send you one. When you email me, give me your address, and I'll get you that too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I completely forgot.
Add the headphones when you're busy, right?
Yeah.
Hey.
It's funny too, because they're like they're somewhere in the room that I sleep in, and they're just in a bag, like kind of buried, but they're there. They're like out. They're not like in a garage or something.
Yeah.
But I made them so long ago, like I forget they even exist. I'm just used to them being around where I don't even see them. You know?
What kind of teacher are you?
I'm a 4th grade teacher, and I'm going through. Oh, are you the one that you've gone through your school? I mean, yeah, he mentioned. Yeah, I'm like at the tail end of all my credential stuff.
Right.
And it's like I got hired with I barely got my BA, and I had no credentialing, I had no anything, and there's such a teacher shortage here in Bakersfield. They hired me
Interesting.
while having to go through, it's almost like you're on probation,
Right.
but you have full pay, full insurance, all the stuff a regular starting teacher
But it
gets.
can be gone anytime if you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I've had something similar.
it's like you have to follow through with your credentialing program by this point, or else they're going to drop you. They won't rehire you.
Right.
And I'm right on point, but yeah, it's
a lot.
it's a song and dance
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
But do you teach like one subject, or how does it work?
It's well here in here we do, like if it's 4th grade, anything for kindergarten through 6th grade
Right.
is
so
all
it's just
subjects.
everything. Right.
And then junior high is when they split up into single subject teachers.
Right. I had to think like with the grades and everything. In Europe, it's very different.
Oh, really?
It's like primary school basically, and then you have high school.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they have the 3 split here, so
I did teach on a primary school, like I don't know what grade it is when they're like 11, basically, something like that. That was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
I studied to become a history teacher.
oh, cool.
So, but actually, that was way cooler than high school, than primary school. It's way
Yeah.
more fun.
My students are like 9 and they're turning 10 like
Yeah,
towards the
cool.
end of the year, and so they're really good. It's a great age because
Yeah.
the kids are like they're not defiant on purpose.
Right.
And they want to please you, and I get along with them all. It's cool. You can connect with them, and
Yeah.
like they're like little adults, but they're not super rebellious
Right.
yet, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm almost done though. That's been a lot of
Yeah,
work.
good.
Like
yeah.
getting into it, I just like the way I just live day to day. So it's just like, well, what homework is due today? And that's all I worry about. But if
Yeah.
someone would have said, well, take a look, this is everything you're gonna have to do,
For over the next
I would
few
go,
weeks.
I don't know. I would have really weighed it out, but
I guess in Europe it's the same. So to become a history teacher in high school, they have too many, but primary school still they want a lot of people, and primarily men because there's more women supposedly.
it's like that
So,
here too.
right.
It's dominantly female teachers. So then when they do get a man that wants to,
Yeah.
and I notice I only have 6 girls in my class. The
Okay.
rest is like 20 boys
Okay.
because they
Right.
want a lot of it from the demographic of the area it's in. A lot of the boys don't have like a solid father figure, and
Oh yeah. So it's very important. The teacher
Yeah.
is like their prominence.
yeah, so they stuck all the boys with me. So
Yeah.
I'm like a second, somewhat father figure to
Right.
them. So I try to be a good influence at
Yeah.
all times.
What's the church that you go to? Just a Christian church? Or
Yeah, it's a Christian church.
You've always been Christian?
Well, I just became Christian. I'm trying to think, probably a couple years ago. I always grew up just kind of believing in God, but I went in stages. It was always, well, I believe in God, but I don't think I'll ever like want to read the Bible or anything like that. And then I was given some very intense moments 4 days after my brother passed away, that it was undeniable what I was being shown. It was like a real-time, real-life vision that connected. I still had never read the Bible, but everything that I saw, it blew my mind. And just like, that's like a whole other interview right there. But then once I started reading the Bible, it started connecting with some things that I saw that I couldn't that weren't of this realm. It was really strange, but more real than real, what I was able to see. And so I did pick up a Bible and started reading it and going, that kind of sounds like something that I saw. Okay.
You said realm? Are we in a realm?
Well, like, I guess in our world, like in this world, we know what we see, right? And we're used to like the physical attributes of what we see, and what I was able to see was some things I was able to recognize, but it shouldn't have been what it was. And it was just completely...
But you would call it a created realm, right? Sort of.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what I saw, just to put it out there, just so people can hear this, some people will usually automatically put on a wall if someone starts maybe talking like this. They're like, okay, whatever. If they don't want to hear that, but hopefully someone that maybe like has been listening to my music and kind of believes and trusts who I am based on my honesty in my music and just everything that I've ever put forth, they might go, okay, I'll listen to him. I might listen to him, you know. Like I said, I listened to worship music. The next thing was, Well, I don't think I'll ever want to go to a church. I'll read the Bible on my own. It's my own thing with like my connection with the Lord Jesus. But then I ended up at a church. I was like, hey, this actually is a blessing. This feels really, really good. I don't think they'll ever be into the style of music. It's kind of cheesy, this and that. And then it turns out I started really liking it. Well, I don't think I'll ever want to play that kind of music. And then before I know it, I'm playing drums at the church, having a blast, So it's just, one scripture says God will change the desires of your heart. And I feel like I'm a walking testament of that. Like, I never thought any of these things would come to pass, and they all have. And it all started, though, because I had that faith that God hears me. I'm praying to God. I know you hear me. Like, I can feel I'm not talking to nothing. I'm not trying to communicate with nothing. I believe you, and I have that faith that you hear me. And I expect, I think God could tell I expected nothing in return. All I was going to do, my plan was, I'm going to pray, and I'm just going to continue to pray the rest of my life. I'm going to train my kids to pray for my brother. And it was all about my brother. I want my brother to be safe somehow. I want him to, and if I never get a message back, it's fine. I'm just going to keep going. And then within 4 days, I was shown that, and everything kind of fell together, so.
Thanks for sharing that.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, anytime. If you put this out there, and if anyone ever wants to talk to me about it, well, what about this or what about that? I'm not a scholar in the Bible, or I just based on my life and my moments and experiences and what I've put together and things that I've read and studied. It's just it's what I've connected with, and it's my relationship with the Lord now it's a big deal to me, and so yeah, it is what it is. Some people don't want anything to do with it. But I was a living symbol of that too, because as soon as anything would come on, I would change it. Because I was scared. Part of me was deep down just knew, if I really investigate this, I'm going to lose what I like. Because I really like this and that, and my ideas, and just, I don't want to change. I can feel that knowing some things, I'm going to change. I don't want that. So that's why I was instantly change the channel. Don't want to listen. Nope, don't want to hear it, hey, you want to talk about the Lord today? Nope, say have a good day. And I was that person, and it's just, when you finally, reach to a certain point, I think my point was my brother passing away, and me, really, truly calling out to God, and just trusting. I know you hear me. I know you hear me. With no intention of feedback or give me this, or
Yeah, I think that's also key.
Yeah, I think it is. It was just I had just a pure heart towards, I'm calling out to you. I know you hear me. I know you hear me. And then I got an answer back that I never expected to get, and I don't know. I always try, one day I want to meet someone that has possibly experienced something like that as well, so I can, because sometimes when I'll tell someone, by the way, I appreciate you guys hearing me out on this too. It's a big deal. Sometimes if I tell it to someone, they'll even be a believer, a follower of Jesus, and they'll just be like, oh wow, that's cool, man, right on. And it's just okay, cool. But it's just me, I would be talking to this person, asking, because of what I experienced, it would be completely different. It would be me asking question after question. Well, what about this? What did this feel like? What do you remember seeing here? And I would really want to investigate what they saw. Can you draw it for me? Here, let me draw it for you. Tell me what you saw. Does it look like this? So when, I don't know, you really can tell when someone is believing what you say based on the feedback they want, or not the feedback, but the questions they have, and if they want to know more about it, or if it's just oh, that's cool, right on. Usually if it's, oh, that's cool, right on, poor guy, that's what I usually picture sometimes. If someone hears it and they either dismiss it, or I don't know, it's usually okay, cool, thanks for sharing. And then as soon as I walk away, oh, poor guy, but that's the only thing that's ever happened like that. Nothing like that has ever happened since. And it's not like I don't take medications. It was nothing that could have happened because it was some kind of a substance-induced type thing, you know, that I would have seen. If it was something that would have happened normally, like maybe it's a condition I have, but it was just one time, and like the comfort. And then people say, well, maybe it's just something that you imagine. Okay, well, what about the hit on the wall? Like, if you know, I think you could, in a dream, watch the world explode. It's not gonna move the wall, you know, to where it's just like boom, you know. If you smack something in front of someone's face hard enough and loud enough, they're gonna wake up and know that something just smacked in their face, even if you do it and then you move your hands away. Or so it goes back and forth. It's just like, well, what about the hit? Oh, okay, well, maybe the hit, the vision, then the comfort, and that feeling that I was able to kind of like translate afterwards of I'm here. And that's all it was, is I'm here, I hear you, you know. So people can take that for what it is, you know, because it just is what it is, you know. You know, there's no huge, I mean, I'm not preaching about it or anything, but that's what led me to like my strong faith, where I'm bold. I could speak boldly about it because it really happened. It's the truth, man. So yeah, I think it's awesome I get to share this with you.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, man, absolutely. Yeah.
We're gonna have to head back now.
Yeah, it's
if you want to make it to the airport.
Oh yeah, I don't want you guys to be late, man.
No, it's all good. We're in time.
Yeah, and then luckily it's not raining. I'll pray for you guys to just make it back safe, not only to LAX, but just back all the way to Germany.
Oh, yeah, should be fine.
Okay.
We fly to Paris first and then to Germany, just because the ticket was cheaper.
Oh, okay, cool.
But
it's getting cold out here.
Yeah, in the evening because it was raining, but well, there was actually some hail, and in the evening then it turns more into ice. I guess that's why there was a big accident, I guess, yesterday.
Yeah, actually, maybe because. Well, you asked maybe we could come earlier or later. Maybe it was good if we couldn't, because you know you never know what happens with all those accidents.
Oh yeah.
Weather and so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's getting cold here now.
Yeah, I'm also.
Yeah, it's getting chilly.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I got to hang out with you longer than I thought. I mean, I thought maybe by this time I would get a call home or something. But
right. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh yeah. So I'll email me for sure, and then I'll be able to send you that song probably within the next couple days.
Nice.
And then also make sure to give me your address, and I'll send you a pine hat. And then, like I said, I'll always, like, once my kids are older, if you ever want to be the one that sets something up for us to come to Europe, like, and do a reunion show over there, like, I don't know, maybe 10 years from now or so, I mean, I'd be interested. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, totally. We'll
probably, I mean, my kids would be older where they're like, let's go. I would love to take my kids to go see the beautiful places I got to see, you know?
Yeah,
so
right.
That would be cool.
Nice, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Good to go? All right, man, one more hug.
Yeah.
I'm really glad I got to meet you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
thank
coming.
you.
Hey, man, thanks for filming. I appreciate it. I'm gonna get going. Oh, get the heater. You guys got a heater, right?
Yeah, no, the car can be really hot. That's good.
Yeah, it's chilly.
Yeah.
Yeah, say hi to your family.
Oh yeah, I definitely will. And email me anytime you want if you just want to talk about music, or if I have what do I remember about this album, or just anything you want. Just hit me up.
Nice.
That goes for any of you. Just hit me up.
Yeah, good.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, God bless you guys.
Most of my life's days got me forever light and haze, trying to forget the time, but I barely ate twice a day.
Doei.
Yeah, of course.
And yeah, hopefully we'll back to Europe.
Yeah,
Okay.
hopefully we'll meet up.
Yeah.
Well, I'll miss you both a lot. All right, have a safe flight. Take care.
Yeah.
Hope everything goes well. And hopefully everything works out. I'll meet you again in Europe a month or two.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right?
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Tot ziens.
What?
See you later in Dutch.
Later. Okay.
Okay.
Doei.
Doei.
Bye-bye.
Interesting. Wat was the ring? Can I see the
Then
ring?
he also has a ring.
Oh, cool. Can I see
Sure.
it up close?
You know somebody? Mason?
A little.
I have known, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which degree Mason are you?
Third degree. Yeah, up to 3rd degree only.
Okay. Pretty cool flight with Norwegian. We actually got to sleep 4 to 5 hours because the seats here were free. So me and Luna used 3 seats each, and our food also wasn't stolen as it was in Spain. Thank you everybody who supported us in the United States, who made the trip possible. We really appreciate it.